Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about how characters affect one another. So what does that mean exactly? How do they affect one another? Kind of like real life. So something happens at work with a coworker, something happens in your personal life with somebody, and that affects you. Sometimes, maybe it doesn't, but we'll just say, for argument's sake, it affects you. How does it affect you? Just make you angry? Does it upset you? Does it make you feel bad about yourself? Does it make you feel good about yourself? All characters, when they're together, have different effects on one another, and you kind of have to show that in the story. So a perfect example would be in my books, in my Hernandez series. Of course, George Hernandez, very powerful guy. He affects everyone very differently. One of the characters in the book, Jolene, she always talks about, and it's mentioned quite a few times, how she feels like he's maybe not taking her as seriously as part of their group because she's a woman. And she's stated that before, and he doesn't know what she's talking about. He just kind of assigns things according to what he feels is suitable for whoever. He doesn't really think about it in sort of, surprisingly, in a sexist term at all, but she feels like he does. So that affects how she feels about him, about the whole situation. Like, she's kind of maybe sometimes the underdog in the group, or she feels that way, and it comes across in her behavior, things she does, things that sort of rebel, that goes against the grain and ends up hurting her in the long run. But again, it's just, that's how life is, and that's how people are. People are complicated, and how people react toward them or don't react toward them can in turn affect them, and how they act toward that person, other people, how they feel about themselves. Like I say, I think sometimes Jolene may not feel as valuable, and she kind of resents that. It makes her angry, but it disappoints her. She wants to be really part of this group, this part of, they're considered like a family, and she feels like she's not as interwoven as the other people, and that is upsetting to her, obviously. Because no matter where you are, you don't want to feel like the outsider. You don't want to feel like the outsider at your work or within your family, your social groups, whatever, but sometimes we do. And so that's just an example. There's other ones too. There's other better ones, more happy ones that I could get into. I don't know why I picked that one. It just popped in my mind. But the point is that how the characters interact with one another, how they talk to one another. One person could say something being just joking or sarcastic, and it may affect the other person differently than they realize. Again, much like real life. Much like real life. But I think the interesting thing is that with characters is that we really start to see how it affects the storyline and sort of the grand scheme of things. It's not just how they feel. Oh, I'm kind of pissed off this person said that. How does that affect how they act? And in turn, how does that affect what happens within the story and the other characters and so on? And these are the kind of things that you have to sort of think about when you're writing, and especially when you have characters that are in a series like I'm writing, and they're constantly interacting, and things change over time, and relationships change over time, and that all comes out. It's important. And it's very important that we demonstrate when we're writing what that is, the good and the bad. Another example would be George Hernandez when he's talking to his daughter and he's mad at her. You can just sort of almost feel like she's pulling back a bit, and like maybe she's scared or upset, or it affects how she feels about herself, as opposed to when he says something nice, she'll smile, her face just glows. And I try to give that impression anyway when I'm writing it. And Rich is really what happens. He has a huge effect on her, and I try to demonstrate that in how she acts. So again, very important part of the writing process, because it's very much human nature, and we really have to bring the human into these characters, or to make them believable, to make them real, to make them likable, to make people care. Because if people don't care about your characters, kind of doesn't matter. None of it matters. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out my video. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Have a great day.